For decades, the name Iran has appeared in headlines beside words like sanctions, conflict, and nuclear tensions. Yet every year, thousands of travelers still arrive here, stepping into cities where turquoise mosques glow under the desert sun, ancient bazaars hum with life, and ruins from one of history's greatest empires still rise from the earth. So what is Iran, really? Iran is a vast country, covering approximately 1.65 million square kilometers, making it one of the largest nations in the Middle East. It sits at one of the most strategic positions on Earth. To its south lies the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow waterway through which nearly one-fifth of the world's daily oil supply passes. What happens inside Iran rarely stays within its borders. But beyond the headlines, another story exists. One written not in oil, but in thousands of years of civilization. And to understand it, we have to follow a journey across the country. Before we go further, one important detail. For centuries, the Western world called this land Persia, a name derived from Parsa, the heartland of the ancient empire. But the people here had always called it Iran, from an old Persian word meaning land of the Aryans. In 1935, the government formally asked the world to use this native name. Today, both terms still appear. Iran refers to the modern nation-state. Persia evokes its ancient civilization and imperial past. In this video, we use Iran for the country as it exists today, and Persia when we step into the deeper layers of its history. History still shapes the present, so we must travel back to ancient Persia. Long before the modern nation existed, this land was the heart of one of the most powerful civilizations the world had ever seen. Persian rulers built an empire that stretched from Egypt to the Indus Valley, linking distant cultures through trade, diplomacy, and royal roads that crossed entire continents. Yet the same geography that brought prosperity also left the land open to invasion. Over the centuries, conquerors arrived from Alexander the Great, to the Arab caliphates, to the Mongols. Each wave reshaped the culture, the faith, and the people. And yet, something essential always survived. Along Iran's southern coast, the strategic importance of the Persian Gulf only grew. At its narrow gateway, the Strait of Hormuz, vast fleets of oil tankers now carry nearly a fifth of the world's energy supply every single day. For centuries, whoever controlled these waters controlled one of the most critical corridors on Earth, linking the Indian Ocean, the Middle East, and the markets of Asia. That reality has never changed. In the 20th century, those ancient tensions returned in a modern form. After the upheaval of the 1979 Islamic Revolution, the region was already fragile. A year later, neighboring Iraq launched a full-scale invasion, igniting one of the longest and most destructive wars of the modern era. By the time a ceasefire arrived in 1988, hundreds of thousands of lives had been lost and the politics of the entire region had been permanently reshaped. And the echoes have not faded. In early 2026, the United States and Israel launched a series of major air strikes against military targets across Iran, marking one of the most direct confrontations between these powers in decades. Once again, the Middle East stands at a crossroads, and yet across Iran, life carries on. Because in this land, history never truly disappears. It is etched into the landscape, woven into the culture, and carried forward by the people who endure it. Look at the map and Iran's position becomes immediately clear. At the heart of Western Asia, it stands where continents of culture converge, between the Middle East, Central Asia, and the Indian subcontinent. For thousands of years this land was a bridge, where Silk Road caravans traveled, armies crossed mountains, and merchants linked distant empires. Its borders tell that story. To the north, the Caspian Sea connects Iran to Russia and Eastern Europe. To the west, Turkey and Iraq mark a frontier shaped by empires for millennia. To the east, Afghanistan and Pakistan once connected the Persian heartland to the trade routes of South Asia. And the climate is as varied as the geography. In the north, humid winds off the Caspian Sea feed dense forests and steady rain, one of the few lush regions in an otherwise dry land. But just beyond the mountain barrier, the landscape changes completely. Across much of the Iranian plateau, rain is scarce. Vast salt deserts receive less than 100 millimeters of rain per year. Summers climb above 40 degrees Celsius. Winters in the mountains plunge far below freezing. Iran is, in every sense, a land of extremes. In the far north, the Alborz Mountains rise like a natural wall between the country and the Caspian. Among them stands Mount Damavand, the highest volcano in Asia. Rising more than 5,600 meters above sea level, its perfectly shaped cone can be seen from Tehran on a clear day. Steaming fumaroles near its summit are a reminder that this giant last erupted just 7,000 years ago. On the other side of these mountains, stretching for 850 kilometers along the Caspian shore, lies the Hyrcanian forest. A UNESCO-protected ecosystem dating back 25 to 50 million years. Dense broadleaf canopies shelter wolves, brown bears, and the elusive Persian leopard. It is one of the most biodiverse ecosystems in the region, and one of the least known to the outside world. Further south, near the ancient Sahand Mountains, something even stranger awaits. The village of Kandavan looks, at first glance, like a colony of stone volcanoes. But its people are not living inside craters, they carved their homes directly into cone-shaped pillars of volcanic ash, shaped over centuries by wind and rain. The thick walls act as natural insulation, cool in summer, warm in winter. It is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cave villages on Earth. And then there is the Persian Gulf. Rising from its turquoise waters, Hormuz Island, often called the Rainbow Island, is a place where iron-rich soils stain beaches deep crimson, and mineral-rich cliffs glow in layers of red, yellow, orange, and purple. Not far away on Keshem Island, millennia of erosion have carved valleys so alien in appearance that visitors compare them to the surface of Mars. Spend any time in Iran and something becomes immediately clear: the hospitality is not a formality. It is embedded in the culture through a centuries-old social code known as tarof. A ritual of gracious politeness where a shopkeeper might refuse your money at first, a host insists you take the last piece of food, and generosity is offered repeatedly before it is accepted. For first-time visitors it can be confusing. But it is one of the most genuine forms of welcome you will find anywhere in the world. Iranian society places great importance on family and personal identity. A cultural character that feels, in many ways, distinct from the Arab world around it and closer in rhythm to South Asia. That same depth of feeling runs through Iranian cinema, which has earned international acclaim for its simple stories and powerful symbolism, offering the world a rare, unfiltered window into Iranian life. Today, Iran is also a surprisingly young society. The median age is around 34 years, meaning roughly half the population is younger than 35, the result of a population boom after the 1979 revolution. This generation, raised after the revolution, now fills the country's universities, cities, and workplaces. Yet Iran remains deeply rooted in ancient tradition. Each spring, the Persian New Year Nowruz is celebrated across the country and throughout the diaspora. The festival is more than 3,000 years old, predating Islam, predating the Persian Empire as we know it. It is perhaps the most enduring thread connecting modern Iran to its ancient past. Most Iranians follow Shia Islam, a faith that shapes the rhythm of daily life from the call to prayer echoing from minarets at dawn, to the communal gatherings of Ramadan evenings. For visitors, a few customs matter. Modest clothing is appreciated, public eating during Ramadan is respectful to avoid, and alcohol is prohibited by law. But those who arrive with curiosity and openness almost always leave with the same impression: the welcome is genuine, and it is warm. And no discussion of Iranian culture is complete without the Persian carpet. Woven by hand, sometimes over months or years, using fine wool, silk, and dyes drawn from plants and minerals. These carpets are among the country's most recognized gifts to the world. Each one tells a story of gardens, rivers, and the landscapes of a civilization that has been creating beauty for thousands of years. Our journey through Iran cities begins where most journeys begin, in Tehran. A vast modern metropolis at the foot of the Alborz Mountains, Tehran is a city of contrasts. Its skyline is dominated by Milad Tower, standing 435 meters tall, completed in 2007, and visible from almost every corner of the capital. Yet in Azadi Square, the older symbol of the city, still stands the Azadi Tower, built in 1971, clad in white marble, blending ancient Persian architecture with modern design. Two towers, two eras, one city still finding its identity. South of Tehran lies Kashan, an ancient oasis city on the edge of the Great Desert, known for its elegant courtyard houses, intricate tilework, and the wind towers that cooled homes long before electricity. Walking through its narrow lanes feels like stepping into a living museum of Persian craftsmanship. Further south, the road leads to Isfahan, long celebrated as the cultural heart of the Persian world. At its center lies Naqsh-e Jahan Square, one of the largest and most beautiful public squares ever built. Constructed in the early 17th century under Shah Abbas I, the square is framed by the Imam Mosque, whose vast turquoise dome shimmers with deep blue and golden calligraphy, by the intimate Sheikh Lotfallah Mosque, whose dome seems to shift and breathe as the sunlight moves across it, and by Ali Qapu Palace, where Safavid kings once watched polo matches from a carved wooden balcony. Standing here, it is easy to believe you are at the center of the world. Beyond Isfahan, deeper into the desert plateau, lies Yazd, a city of wind catchers, those distinctive towers that channel cool air down into homes below. It is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities on earth. And then, Shiraz, the city of Persian poetry and gardens. Its pink mosque, the Nasir al-Mulk, is famous for a single moment each morning, when sunlight passes through stained glass windows and fills the prayer hall with a cascade of shifting color. It is one of the most photographed interiors in the entire Islamic world. About 60 kilometers northeast of Shiraz, the ruins of Persepolis rise from the plains. Founded in the 6th century BCE, this was the ceremonial capital of the Achaemenid Persian Empire. The empire that once stretched from Egypt to India. The surviving stone columns, the vast terraced platform, and the intricate reliefs carved into the staircases, showing delegations from across the empire bringing tribute to the king, speak of a civilization that was, at its height, the most powerful on earth. Today, beneath the wide skies of southern Iran, Persepolis stands as a reminder of everything this land once was, and everything it still carries. Iran is one of the most resource-rich countries on earth. Beneath its deserts and mountains lie some of the largest reserves of oil and natural gas on the planet. Oil was first discovered here in the early 20th century, transforming Iran into one of the most strategically important energy producers in the world. Today, vast networks of wells, pipelines, and export terminals connect those reserves to global markets. But natural wealth alone does not guarantee prosperity. For decades, international sanctions have restricted trade and cut off foreign investment. Heavy dependence on oil has left the economy exposed to fluctuations in global energy prices. Iran remains a paradox, a nation of immense natural resources navigating a deeply complicated economic reality. Alongside the oil economy, Iran's traditional bazaars, some operating for hundreds of years, continue to thrive as centers of daily commerce, connecting ancient craftsmanship to modern buyers. Tourism, too, was growing rapidly before recent geopolitical tensions disrupted it. At its peak, more than 7 million international visitors arrived each year, generating around $7 billion in revenue. For adventurous travelers, Iran offers deep history, dramatic landscapes, and remarkable affordability, hotels often costing between $20 and $60 a night. That potential, when conditions allow, remains very much alive. Numbers and politics alone cannot fully explain Iran. Because beyond the economy, beyond the headlines that so often define it for the outside world, Iran remains something far older and more enduring, a civilization shaped by thousands of years of art, faith, resilience, and human connection. From the traditions of Taraf and the poetry of Nowruz, to the mosques of Isfahan, the ruins of Persepolis, and the rainbow shores of Hormuz Island, this is a country of extraordinary depth. A place that has absorbed invasion, revolution, and isolation, and yet continued to create beauty, to welcome strangers, and to look forward. Perhaps that is the most honest thing to say about Iran. It is a country the world often misunderstands. And for those willing to look past the headlines and follow the journey, the reward is a civilization unlike any other.